We're live. We're early by a minute, so probably nobody's here. But we've got our tea.
You've got your tea.
Well, I've got tea. Sarah's drinking the wine because she's an adult now.
Yeah.
I have book. We're ready to chat when people come. We'll wait just a minute. I'll go ahead and click on that. Thanks, computer, for being aware of what's happening. Okay. So I'm all set up, and now we'll sip and we'll wait. And what is my hair doing? There. It was like sticking out weird.
I'm like getting more used to the way it tastes now, I think.
You're adjusting to the wine.
I guess.
Becoming a wine connoisseur. And go to like a wine tasting. Which sounds terrible to me because I don't want to taste all the wine. Oh, hi Lauren. It's good to see you here. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Oh, let me fix this so I can actually see comments when they pop up there. So, Sarah's drinking her wine like an adult, and I'm drinking my like hot chocolate stuff because I'm not an adult. I would like to be awake for the whole live stream.
I don't want to be awake.
I can't handle my alcohol, apparently. So, anyway, we'll wait a few more minutes because I know it's early and I want to make sure people get here in time to discuss with us, but we're going to be discussing Revolution by Jennifer Donnelly, one of my now like favorite authors. I mean, I already knew I liked her writing, but I really enjoyed this. So, although I'm going to nitpick it because I had a lot of nitpicky things, but overall I really liked it. And so, I don't know, do you want to get started? I know it says there are 6 people here, so do you want to just start talking? I don't know. I'm afraid that we're going to be done talking too early because I have no plan, like none. I finished the book this morning and then didn't think about what we were going to talk about until like 5 minutes ago.
And it's been like a couple of weeks now since I read it, so your memory is at least fresher than mine.
Yes, you need to slide just a smidge closer. You're like drifting away. Okay.
I'm trying to escape.
Escape. So I was going to put this, if I put it there, we can see it and it won't fall on your head, I don't think. Okay. Because that would be hilarious.
Oh, would it?
Okay. Anyway. So, initial thoughts. What do you think of Revolution?
I really like Jennifer Donnelly's writing style.
Agree.
And I both like and dislike. Like, it's mixed feelings about how the main story and the diary entries are in different styles. So they felt very separate, which was good in some ways and weird in others.
Agree. I can see that. You're making me nervous. Your wine's gonna sing. I don't know what's happening.
We're back.
And we're back. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Anyhow, I really liked the historical aspect of the story. I think that was my favorite part of the book, was the diary entries. I really wanted more of that. I would have liked the whole book to be that, honestly, but...
Except I didn't like that the diary entries didn't have quotation marks. That's just like a pet peeve of mine in books and writing, because I don't like when there's not quotation marks. It's harder to read and follow and know what's dialogue and what isn't when there's no quotation marks.
That's why I DNF'd Wolf Hall. Who wrote that? I can't think of her name.
There are so many literary fiction
But yeah,
stuff.
Wolf Hall would have been should have been a book I loved, but I could not handle the lack of quotation marks and the fact that every character was male, so it was always he said, but no quotation, so who said it? I don't know. I could never figure out who was talking. I only got 50 pages into that and DNF'd it. But oddly, the lack of quotation marks in this did not bother me because it was written in a diary format, so it made sense, I guess.
Not that I...
And I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt. I always knew who was talking, so I could follow it. Go ahead.
Not that I've ever kept a diary, but I would put quotation marks. If I was quoting people.
I see. But it's fine. It didn't bother me though, so that was just a pet peeve of yours.
Yeah.
I really liked the story as a whole. there was lots of things about it that I found nitpicky that I would have liked if she'd done differently, but I still really enjoyed it. Oh, see, the audiobook had different narrators. That's cool. I don't typically do audiobooks, but I would be interested in hearing what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Did they do a French accent? I wonder. That would be cool. Or maybe distracting. I don't know. Oh, they did? Oh, see, I would have liked that. I really like when they do accents in books, so that would be cool. Because I always try to do accents when I read aloud, although I cannot do a French accent. I think the few times I tried, I gave up very quickly because it sounded terrible. But so, I don't know. I liked the historical parts the best. The time travel thing was a little out of nowhere at the end. I don't know how I feel about that still.
See, I went into it kind of hoping that it would be a time travel story, and then I got to a point where I was like, I guess it's not a time travel book.
Exactly.
And then
That's what I
suddenly
did
it
too.
was, at the very end. That was
I kept thinking it was going to be that
weirdly
too.
paced.
And the pacing was very weird because I just expected it to happen much earlier in the story. And like the moments where I felt like they were working towards time travel and then didn't. And then I was like, oh, I guess this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then weirdly it was. And I was confused. So, and it was just so abrupt. I don't know. I would have liked if I were writing this book, if I were to restructure it, if I were her editor, because I don't want to write it, I want her to write it. If I were to restructure it, I would have it, instead of a romance with Virgil, I would have had her time travel much earlier and have the romance aspect with, and I don't know how to say his name, Amade, I don't know, the musician she was studying. I would have much rather have that be the romance focus and have the story focused around that than have it be almost entirely contemporary, except for that little bit, because that was just weird, and I don't know.
I don't know. I think it'd be weird if it was a romance between them.
I see.
She would have to go back eventually. Then she would be doing her school project on her
but I
past
assume
boyfriend.
True, but I assume that it was like she had to write a romance into the story because it's YA and you have to have a romance. So if you have to have the romance, I would have liked to see that instead of with Virgil, and and spend more time in the past, because I would have just liked more of that.
I thought it would be cool if when she time traveled, if instead of the diaries, the diary could have been a beginning part, but then she just becomes
and then transition and becomes, that would have been cool, because I just thought that's what was going to happen the whole time. I expected that, and
Or
then
if
it
they
just
met.
kept not happening.
Or if the two of them met, she time traveled and then meets her, and I don't know, maybe that wouldn't have worked as well.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but
that's what I was kind of hoping for at one point, and I was like, okay, no, that's not happening, I guess.
Oh, you see, I expected time travel. I don't know why. I just had it in my mind that was where the story was going. It doesn't say anything about it, though, in the synopsis. So I just took that as I wanted it to be a thing. I don't know.
I went from expecting time travel to okay, not time travel, maybe ghosts, to okay, not ghosts. What's happening?
I knew
then
there
all
was
of a
going
sudden
to
it
be
was
some
time
kind
travel.
of supernatural element to the story. Yeah.
That was the only thing, is I don't like the pacing of this book.
I can see that. I can see the pacing being an issue, because it did bother me a little bit, just because I wanted more time in certain parts of the story rather than others, because I didn't like Andy as a person. I didn't connect with her, and I felt, I don't know, she was almost too angsty, and which I understand her circumstances, but I didn't like her as a person. And so usually if I don't like the protagonist of the story, I start to lose interest. But somehow Jennifer Donnelly made me like enough about what was happening that I was invested in what happened to Andy. So I was impressed with that, because I just don't usually work that way. But yeah, so I really like her writing a lot, and I must now go and find all of her books when I have time and read all of her things, because I just really like how she writes.
Oh, City of Ghosts. Yeah.
Who's saying City? What?
The V. Schwab Middlegate. I can kind of see that, I think. That was a route that this book could have gone, but obviously didn't. But I think that would have been cool, actually.
I have not read that, so I don't know. I don't know what that is.
It's cute.
Is it? I wanted to read it, but I have not. I know you want me to read all of the V.E. Schwab.
Yeah.
See, the book I get excited about, like, I don't know, as soon as they started talking about DNA and the heart and all of that, I remembered I just read this like a year and a half ago maybe, when I was writing level 11, The Lost King of France, How DNA Solved the Mystery of the Murdered Son of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. I loved this, and I was really excited when I got to the end of the book and saw that she used this in her research, and I was like, yes, because like there were a lot of moments where I was like, I remember that from this. So I highly recommend, if you liked the historical aspect of the book Revolution, that you pick this up, because this is awesome. This is so readable and interesting, and it delves into like a lot about the revolution and the aftermath of the revolution and what happened later, like all the like pretenders who came forward and claimed to be the prince who was locked in the tower, and very, very interesting. So she got a lot of her DNA information from that, and so it was really helpful to have already read it, but I would definitely pair it with The Lost King of France, because I just thought that was a great tie-in historically.
Definitely gonna have to pick that up sometime.
You are. It's very good. I highly recommend it. Okay, so what other thoughts do you have about the book? Oh, I was fan casting in my head, and I cannot tell you his name, but if you've seen Lock and Key on Netflix, that what is his name? Scott Cavendish, is that actor is who I was picturing as Virgil, which meant I pictured the actress who plays Kinsey Locke as Andy, because that's just where my brain goes when I'm reading. I always want to like, who would play this character in the movie? So I don't know. I like to do that, but that might just be me. I don't think they'll ever make this into a movie. But who would you cast? Did you care? You don't know any actors and actresses. You don't watch the TV.
I do sometimes.
Things that aren't animated. No, but I don't know who else I would cast in it. I didn't have any other people in mind, but I just immediately locked on Scott Cavendish as Virgil. I will say I really liked all of the music stuff. I love music. I listen to music all the time. Oh, Lenny Kravitz, old school Lenny Kravitz as Virgil. I like that a lot more. Wow, okay, that changes the game in my head. But I really liked the music stuff a lot. I liked all the tie-ins with the different, the way she was talking about like the musical DNA and all of that. Like, I thought that was really interesting and fascinating, and it made me want to go play all the music. And also, they used lyrics from my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers song, My Friends, and I was very excited about that because I was like, my favorite song just popped up. That was exciting. So
Did you listen to it while you read it?
I didn't, because I get too distracted when I'm listening to like music with lyrics. When I'm reading, I can do like instrumental, but I can't do like, because then I'll stop and start singing along, and then I forget that I'm reading. So see, I never learned how to read music properly. I know enough like in a choir how to like pick up where I'm supposed to be, but I can't just like read music. If you handed me a sheet of music, I would not be able to figure out how it's supposed to sound at all, which makes me sad, because I spent, I don't know, a long time in choirs and stuff. I should have learned that at some point, but I never did. But yeah, that would be cool to know how to do. I also wish I could play an instrument, but that will never happen either. There's just not enough hours in my day. But yeah, I loved the idea of like being able to go and busk on a corner somewhere and perform, and people will just start throwing money at you. I don't know. That's very cool.
And I like to know the performance art aspect for both of the narrator characters.
Mhm.
How Alex was an actress and like did all those shows and like puppet shows with her family.
I know, the
And,
puppets was your favorite.
Yeah, puppets were my favorite part of the whole book.
Yeah, I didn't like Nick either. I'll say I was very confused, and it's probably just me because I took so long to read the book. It just took me forever to get through because I was busy with other things, and I was reading it in like snippets across like the last couple of weeks. But I was really confused about Truman and his age. In my brain, for some reason, I latched onto the idea that he was older, and that for some reason he and Nick were like friends, and that's why Nick was upset. I don't know. There was nothing in the text to like make me believe that as a fact, but I for some reason just latched onto it. So I was really confused when she was then explaining what happened and that he was a small child, and I was
See,
like, what?
I didn't
So
have that problem,
that
but
was confusing.
I didn't realize
But-
it wasn't in the text at the beginning that he was a small child, because I guess I had read a book a little while beforehand that also had a older sister and a little brother who experienced a traumatic incident. So I kind of had that in my head while I was reading, so like it didn't occur to me that that
Yeah.
wasn't actually
So first-
explained right away.
Yeah, I don't maybe it was at least a little bit and I just missed it. I think if I were to go back and reread it, I would notice that more, that like clues that he was younger. But for some reason I just was like, oh, her older brother died, and that's not at all what happened. So I don't know. I wish that there was like more information about Truman in the beginning, because I felt like it was just sort of dancing around the edges of like talking about it, which I understand. It makes sense because she didn't want to talk about it or think about it, but I wish there was just a little bit more information, because then I wouldn't have been as confused when she did finally explain what happened. Because that just like, I had to stop a second and go, wait, what? He was 10? But I think that was just me, because I feel like it probably was sort of explained and I just missed it.
Also, I'm probably terrible, but I almost forgot who Nick was. Like, I was very confused.
Yeah,
for a
he
second.
was only in the very beginning and then
Yeah.
mentioned at the very end, and I don't know. I don't know that he was necessary plot-wise, but I don't know. There was just a lot of stuff going on. I almost wish that this was like 2 books, because there was a lot of stuff that like I wish had gotten more fleshed out, and there was just more of that.
I think this book either should have been shorter, or the time travel should have been earlier.
Yeah,
One
I
of
don't
those
know.
2 things.
I definitely wish there was more time travel-y stuff. I really want like a historical fiction just focused on that. That would have been really cool, because I've not read that much about the French Revolution. I've read a little, like I've read The Lost King of France, and there was something else and I can't remember what it was. I don't remember. There was another book I read ages ago, but I would like to do more reading on that, because there's just a lot going on. That was a crazy time, and like just so much stuff was going on in France. I've tried to read Tale of Two Cities, and both times I attempted it, I ended up getting just stuck, and I gave up and moved on to something else. I don't know. Dickens either really works for me or not at all. So, like, I loved Great Expectations, loved Christmas Carol, got stuck in Oliver Twist, and then got stuck in Tale of Two Cities, and I don't know. Someday I'm gonna make another attempt at Tale of Two Cities, though, because I feel like that's a book I would like if I could just get through it, but I just can't. I have at least something. What is it? I think I have a book about Marie Antoinette, but I can't remember who wrote it. And I have I have 2 books about Marie Antoinette.
Royal Diaries?
Yes,
book
I do
about-
have a Royal Diaries book. And I also have, what is it called? I just can find you. One of the, Carolyn Meyer wrote a book in the Young Royal series about, Marie Antoinette. So, like, I have one adult book, and then I think I have a young adult middle grade. So, someday I'm going to read more of those, because that's just a time period of history that I'm really interested in, just that I haven't had time to explore more about. I want to do a deep dive at some point, because I just think it would be really fun. But anywho, that was off on a tangent. So yeah, what other things do you want to talk about the story?
Thoughts on Andy's parents and her family situation.
Yes, her family situation was very sad. I don't know. And I think that's part of why I didn't connect with Andy as much, because she was just so sad. And like that tends to pull me out of a story if I'm like that. I don't know. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say.
The book was too sad for
It
you?
was too sad for me. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't connect with her, and like I've never been that depressed, and so I don't know. I was struggling to connect with her as a character, but I felt really sad about her mom, and I was very happy at the end that she was doing better and they were able to live together, that they moved to France, and all of that. That just made me feel better, and like things were going to be okay for her.
And I appreciated that the resolutions she came to with her dad. Like, I feel like it could have so easily gone the more cliche route where they made up and everything was all happy and nice again. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that, because it felt more realistic and healthier.
Yeah.
That they were able to part ways.
I really like when authors do that, when they make those choices where they take something that could easily become cliche and they go, no, I'm going to do this how it would work in the real world. And I don't know, I like that they parted ways, and that was just that. Like, I don't need this person in my life because they're not healthy for me to be around. And I don't know, I thought that was very, very well done, very interesting that she made that choice. I had a thought and then I lost it. When we were talking, I was like, oh, I should talk about this, but then I forget what it was.
Was it puppets?
No, it wasn't the puppet, Sarah. I don't remember what it was now. It'll come back to me, or it won't. I don't know. Now it's bothering me. What was I going to say? Why can't you read my mind, Sarah? Jeez.
Is that what the alcohol is?
No, that's not what the alcohol is for.
Does it give me special powers?
No, sadly, it does not.
And what's the point?
Now I'm mad that I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, well. So yeah, any other thoughts on the story? Any other things you want to talk about? I wish that I had like had more time to read, because I started tabbing it. Like when I first started, you can see I have like 4 tabs. And then like I didn't have time,
like
and I was
started
reading
the book first.
Yeah, I started it
and
before
then you passed it to me, and then I finished it, then gave it back.
I know. And
weeks
like there was a
later.
lot of lines that I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have tabs nearby, so I just stopped tabbing. And I regret that, because there was a lot of really great like moments and lines that I just really loved, and I want to go back and reread this sometime when I have time and really like tab the crap out of it.
Honestly, same, because I read it really fast because I was doing it during the reading rush, so I was like speeding through it. So
Yeah.
it would be nice to go back and like read it more slowly.
Oh, I read it slow. I would like to
yeah.
read it a little faster next time.
Yeah, you know, we both get the opposite
Yeah.
experience.
But yeah, I really want to go back and like tab it, because there was just so many moments that I just really loved.
Oh,
The
yeah.
scene at the Eiffel Tower was very intense. And then in the catacombs when she almost dies was like, that was a moment where I was like, I can't stop until I know everyone's going to be okay. Yeah, that was a lot.
There were definitely some like stressful moments.
Yes, there was a lot of stressful moments. I feel like she just constantly was putting herself in danger, and I felt really concerned. So I'm glad that she made it through. I was really worried that, and because I kept expecting time travel to happen, and I was really worried that she was going to jump, and that was what was going to like springboard her into the time travel. But I was glad that that did not happen, because I didn't want to read that like she killed herself, and that was the thing. So I'm glad it didn't go that way, because I don't know, I think that would have been upsetting. But yeah, there was some very intense moments, and a lot of really beautiful writing. There was a couple moments where I just like loved it. I'm trying to like find things, but of course I have no tabs. I can't. But I think my favorite part overall was the journal entries, because I just love historical fiction, and I loved being in that time period and seeing things that like seeing things that were happening within the scope of the revolution from a different viewpoint was really interesting. I like that a lot. So I would happily read an entire book of just those journal entries and like have her expand upon it.
Yeah, and I did really love the way the journal entries and how both Andy and Alex's lives almost were intertwined at parts, and how they were able to have, like, parallel each other in such
Yeah, I thought that was
great
really,
ways.
really interesting and smart. It was really
Yeah.
well written. So yeah, even though I'm nitpicking and I would restructure things, I think the writing was just
Yeah.
really great, and the complexity of how she like intertwined their lives was really, really, really interesting.
Jennifer Donnelly is very talented.
She is. Did you read Fatal Throne?
I haven't yet, but I really
'Cause
want
I
to.
can't remember which queen she wrote. I think it might have been Anne of Cleves. Because I think it was Anne of Cleves, because I remember thinking I usually find her stuff a little bit boring, just reading about Anne of Cleves. She wasn't the most interesting of the stories of the six wives, but I remember that being really well done, and I'm like, of course, it's Jennifer Donnelly. She's gonna make me really invested in even
she can
Anne
do
of
no
Cleves.
wrong.
Yeah. So she has another series, I think. I know the first one is something like the Tea Rose, that takes place in, I think, London in the 1880s, perhaps, that I really want to read. I don't own it yet. I'm not letting myself buy it because I have too many things to read, and I'm not going to get to it anytime soon. But I would really like to read more of her writing. Any other thoughts? It's actually made me want to go to Paris, and usually I don't. Like, I've never wanted to go to France. I don't know why that is. France has just never been on my list of places to travel to. But this made me really want to go. I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I
but
just want to travel in general, so
Well-
reading books that take place in other countries, I'm like, okay, I'm adding this to my list.
I mean, I've read other things that took place in France, and I was just like, eh. But this definitely made me interested in seeing France and being a tourist and going to the catacombs and all of that. Would you go to the catacombs? You would?
Yeah.
Okay. It sounded really creepy,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
that's
But
why
I know
I wanna
that's not
go.
for everybody. Well, of course
I
it's
want to
creepy.
go
We
to
like creepy
creepy
things.
places.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to go to France now and see that someday. So we'll see if that ever does happen. Traveling's a pain for me anyway. I have too many food issues. I don't know how I would survive. But I don't know, it just made France seem interesting to me. I also wish I could speak a foreign language. Like, if I found a diary in French, I would not be able to. And I took 4 years of French in high school and remember none of it.
I took 1 year
So-
of French.
I couldn't manage translating an entire diary. That would have made me frustrated. So that's another thing to add to my list of stuff I need to do.
But is French like your number one language?
No, I wouldn't learn French. I was terrible at it. I can't do the accent at all, and my teacher was always yelling at me that I sound terrible. I sound like an American speaking French. So that is not the language I would learn.
I took 2 years of German, 1 year of French, 1 year of Japanese, and I don't remember any of it.
Well, no. I don't know. I don't know what language I would want to learn. I used to want to learn Hebrew.
I want to go back and
I can read
learn
Hebrew.
Japanese.
Like, I can read and pronounce Hebrew, I just don't know what I'm saying. So, I'd like to know what I'm saying. That would be cool. And I can do the sounds. Not everyone can.
I want to learn Japanese and I want to learn Gaelic. Even though I'm sure Gaelic would be really hard, but it would be fun.
I wouldn't be able to do Gaelic. That's too much. That's hard.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, we haven't had the cake yet. We're gonna have the cake when we're done with this. So we're gonna do birthday cake after the live show. We were discussing potentially eating it on camera, but it's messy and I don't really want to be eating food on camera because that's just, I don't like watching people eat. So I don't know if anyone would want to watch me eat. But yes, it is gluten-free and dairy-free. Because if I'm gonna put that much effort into baking a cake, I want to be able to eat it. So yeah, I made the pudding because rum cake is layers. So there's a chocolate pudding layer. Usually it's a vanilla pudding layer. We used coconut cream, and then a layer of jam. So I made the puddings with oat milk that I can drink. So I can have all of it because I want to eat the cake too. And it was just a, I think it was a buttercream frosting, but it was one of the store-bought buttercreams that doesn't actually have any butter in it. So we're excited for that. It should be tasty. We've made it before, but with a different cake mix, because I don't know what your grocery stores look like, but they have not had like gluten-free cake mix in the store for months. So we're able to find a different brand than we usually use. So I hope it's fine.
I mean, it smells
smelled
fine.
good. It smelled fine. It looked fine when we finished baking it. So yeah, end of the world. Yeah, it is. It's a little bleak sometimes. Like I get nervous. The pasta we use that I can eat disappeared, and I can't get that anywhere. I can't even order it online. So that was upsetting. I was able to find a couple more packages of spaghetti, and I stored them away, and we're almost out of that now. So I don't know what we're gonna do about pasta. And then my baking mix that I usually use is out of stock forever. Parent Wi-Fi. Oh, I think we're back. Okay. Woo! I was like, oh no, don't die. Okay. Whew. So I think, yeah. Okay. Yes, I have tried King Arthur. And didn't like it as much. And then I was able to get some Bob's Red Mill bread mix stuff. So I have something so I can bake. But yeah, it's just been tough to find things in the grocery stores for the last little while, and it makes me feel a little bit anxious. But hopefully things will start to get better soon, I hope. But anyway, I was all stressed out over the technical difficulties. I lost my entire train of thought about the conversation we were trying to have. So, any other thoughts about Revolution? Anyone want to talk about a favorite scene they had or a favorite moment? I really liked the idea of Alex doing the fireworks.
Yeah, that
That was very neat. I don't know. I don't normally like fireworks that much.
I
Like,
hate
I don't
fireworks.
mind them, but they're not like something I'm excited about. Probably just because in the neighborhood we live in, there are a lot of obnoxious people who sin. Like, it's really bad on 4th of July, but like summer, just random fireworks for no reason. So I'm not usually a huge fan of that, but I loved the idea of her doing it to like give hope to this little boy who's sad and scared and alone. So that was very,
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked that idea. And then of Andy trying to figure out how to do it when she had to become Alex. So would have liked a little more, but whatever. I still really liked that aspect of the story though. The fireworks and the Green Man and all of that. Oh, that was the other book I read, The Scarlet Pimpernel. I was like, I know I read something else about the French Revolution. I read The Scarlet Pimpernel. And it the Green Man thing kind of made me think of that. I don't know if she did that intentionally or if that was just...
What's that book about?
It's about I think it was British. It's been a couple of years since I read it. I read it around the same time as this because it was for level 11. It's about, I think, a British noble who comes in and like rescues the people out of France who were gonna be killed, and like he saves people. So, but nobody knows who it is. It's just the Scarlet Pimpernel. So it's a whole mysterious, like, who is it? So I don't know. I like stories like that though. So we're not doing a book club read for what month are we in right now? August. Yeah. I had to think a second. Yeah, we're not doing an August book this month because I have too many things I'm juggling and I needed to let go of a plate. And so we're not going to do book club this month. But we are definitely going to pick up again in September. And Sarah and I are going to come up with some ideas for what we might want to read, and we'll put up a poll probably towards the end of the month, and we can pick something, because I have no idea. Like, when I was trying to like hold on to the idea that I was going to do book club, I could not think of anything to read. Like, I think I'm just too overwhelmed right now. And I was looking at my bookshelves and just like, there's too many things. I don't know. So I couldn't think of anything to read anyway. Not that I have time, but definitely we're going to pick up again in September. And so if there are any books that you guys want to read, you can throw some ideas at me, and we can like compile a list, and maybe we can pick something. So if there's a book that you've been wanting to read and you think it would be fun to do in the book club, let me know.
Especially if the book is spooky, because I'm in a spooky mood.
I mean, yeah,
And
we're going
we're
into
moving
September.
in the
I
fall,
usually,
so
yeah,
yeah.
usually once we get into like September, October, I'm in the mood for the spooky
Yes.
things too. So perhaps we could do some horror. I haven't read anything horror really in a while. I read The Only Good Indian by Stephen Graham Jones. I read that last month, I think. That was like the first scary book I'd read in months. So, ooh, Mexican Gothic. That has been calling to me. That might be a good pick.
So I'm reading it this month for a different book club.
Oh, so you'll already be on it. So, okay.
I mean, I'll have read it early then.
It is on my TBR of things I want to get to like really soon, because I'm very excited about it. I've read a few of her other books and I really like her writing, and
You have to read her vampire book.
I will
Certain Dark
eventually.
Things
I
is
know.
really good.
I'm gonna, because
I recommend that to everyone. It's
yeah.
it's gonna be republished very soon by Tor Nightfire.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes, because it's out of print currently, but they picked it back up, so it's gonna get republished. It'll probably get a new cover. I'm really excited for that.
No, I like the cover it has though.
But
I guess it's fine.
I'm not 100% about the new cover, but if it's getting republished, there's a good chance. So
We'll have to see if
Keep
it
an eye
comes
out
out
for
in
that.
paperback. I would buy a paperback of it because I think we own the hardcover.
Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Mariano Garcia. It's really cool. It's a vampire book that takes place in Mexico and has like really cool vampire mythology. It's really unique.
I'm interested in that for sure. But yeah, I've read, what did I read by her? I read Signal to Noise, I think, and I read, what was it? I can't think of the name of it, but it's something with sharks on the cover.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was her Mexican noir, I think. But what is it called? Untamed Shore. So I read Untamed Shore. I got an arc of it, and I thought that was really, really good. So I'm very excited to read more of her books. I love that she does something different with every single book she puts out. They're all different genres and styles, and I think that's really interesting. Because that's just, I wish I could do that. Like, be able to write such different stories, but they have the same kind of feel to them. Like, they all feel like they're her book, but they're also different stylistically. So I think that's really cool. So Mexican Gothic will definitely be on our list when we do a poll, because that is a book that I'm very, very interested in reading.
I hear it'll make you not like mushrooms.
How dare! But I like mushrooms. What did she do to the mushrooms?
I don't know, but I saw people talking about
That is
it.
so weird and random.
Like, okay. I'm a little nervous, but
I'm still on a quest to find a vampire book that I really like. Like, there are so few good vampire stories, and I don't know why that is. Like, vampires are so cool, and there should be more cool stories about them.
oh, I'm planning a YouTube video complaining about vampires. Just wait.
I could totally rant for a long time about vampires, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in Mexican Gothic, and we'll have to come up with some lists of things horror related that we have already on hand, so I don't have to buy too many new things. But of course, if people want to vote for books that I don't own, I'm not opposed to purchasing books.
Would a short story collection be too weird as a book club pick?
Depends on what it is.
Her body.
Of course, I'm like, where are we going with here? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about that. Oh, nightmares from Harry Potter. What about Harry Potter was it spiders? That would that made me feel uncomfortable.
All of book 2 is like vaguely horror-esque.
Yeah, the basilisk.
Yeah, all of that book is spooky.
I don't know. Maybe the 4th book had the scene in the graveyard was really scary. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say maybe it was the graveyard scene. That was very creepy. I love when stories that aren't scary delve into really scary stuff for just a minute.
Particularly children's books.
Yeah, children's
Creepy Little
books that
Green.
get really creepy are fun. I like that a lot.
Coraline
it's
really
not-
scared me
oh,
as a little
Coraline
kid,
is
but
creepy.
reading it now, I'm like, this is amazing. Little me was weak.
You didn't like Lala Loopsy for the longest time with the button eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
very creeped out about
terrified
that.
by that.
Ooh, Mallory is out. Is Mallory out now or is it coming out? I don't know. But I've been interested in reading that, but like tentatively because I'm still not sure we needed more.
No, we needed more. That was a terrible book ending. I was mad when I finished Bird Box.
I don't know. I liked it. Like the longer I sat with it, the more I liked the way it ended ambiguously. So I was happy with that.
I get so upset when horror ends ambiguously. I'm like, no, it's not over. Give me more.
So I don't know. I haven't purchased that yet. So I don't know why I thought it wasn't out yet. So I'll have to go look that up.
Yeah.
Also, not that it comes out anytime soon. I think it's out in February. But Neil Shusterman has a new book coming out. I think it's called Game Changer. Right? Is that the name of it? Game Changer?
Game Shakers?
Game Shakers, no. I think it's Game Changer. And it's like a parallel universe kind of a story, and I'm very excited for that. So that's high on my list. Maybe when, I don't know if it's out at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month in February, but that might have to be a book club pick because I am definitely going to want to read it immediately when it comes out. I'm very excited about it. Do you care? You never finished The Toll. No. She hasn't read The Toll, and I'm so angry. Like, how dare you not finish the series? You have to finish it.
I will read The Toll and you read Vengeful.
Well, fine. Maybe I'll read Vengeful if it makes you read The Toll. But anyway, so we'll get up the poll towards the end of the month. So let me know if there's anything that you guys want to add to the list. And I don't know, I'm not sure how many options I can have in a poll. I haven't checked that. So maybe like up to 5, I think. So
maybe we can do it like tournament style.
Tournament style. That would be fun. You can spend the whole month doing a tournament. That would be kind of fun. I don't know if I want to put the effort in. You know what, Sarah? You're in charge. You run the tournament of books.
Okay.
To pick our September book. So we'll do that. I make Sarah do it because I just don't have the time to put in the effort that would require. But Sarah's gonna do a tournament of books now.
I don't know how to do that actually.
I don't know either.
Like a Google form type thing?
You know what? I have no idea.
Is that too formal? I don't know how to do this.
Honestly,
figure something out.
We'll figure it out, but we'll do something fun to make up for the fact that we're skipping a month, and we'll come up with an option that we all want to read, and we'll do our next month in September. Yeah. So I'm excited for. I'm very much looking forward to like an opening in my crazy schedule right now because it's just this month is chaos and I'm trying my hardest to stay on top of everything and I feel very crazy and scatterbrained.
And then of course I'm entering chaos because college is starting in a couple of weeks.
We're all in a chaotic place right now, I think. It's fine. It'll be okay. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for hanging out with us and talking about Revolution. It was fun. I liked it a lot. I gave this 4 stars. I don't think we said our ratings. I gave it 4 stars. I took a star off just because the pacing was weird for me.
Yeah, it was the pacing and also the lack of quotation marks in the diary entries. It just really bothered me.
Okay, that's so funny that you got so hung up on that one little thing.
I get so mad because, like, in my creative writing classes, we read a lot of literary fiction, and I get so upset when so much literary fiction does that. It's like a trend, and I hate it.
She refuses to use capital letters, so she has nothing to say.
Only in social media. My regular, like, professional writing,
it drives me crazy.
Properly.
I hate seeing the word I, single letter, lowercase. I can't.
It looks cute.
It's not. It's frustrating.
You don't know aesthetic.
Aesthetic. I think you just like it because it's tiny and little. Like all the letters being small. You're an adult. Okay. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're going to go. We're done being silly. So we'll see you guys next time. Happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.